Hi, Coach, I love that hat, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Love repping the state, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, you've got such a loaded quarterback room as far as experience goes. How beneficial is that for you when you have four guys that can almost help you out? Or do you see that with these guys that have so much experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think each guy brings a little bit different to the table, and Coach Lunny does such a great job coaching those guys up. With his experience as a play caller, number one, and then I think it's important to be coached up by guys that played the position, especially at the level that Coach Lunny did back at Arkansas. So, those guys all bring something a little bit different to the table, as does multiple positions on our team. We got different personalities at each group. But we really like what we're seeing out of all the quarterbacks and all the other skill position players.
And speaking specifically on receivers, who are some names that have kind of stuck out to you so far in camp?
Well, you got to start with our older guys. Sheldon Jones has done a great job being a real vocal leader for our group. Brendan Dingle, the grad transfer from UMass, has really stepped up. You got to think about him. He's 23 years old. He's by far the oldest guy in my room and takes the field every day like a pro. So he's been a great addition to our team. Zachary Franklin's a young guy that is another guy that's really taken a leadership role. And, I joke with him, call him Coach Franklin out there on the field because he knows everybody's position. He's very tuned into the offense and has a great knack for the game. Josh Sheafus has really stepped up as an outside receiver playing our Z position. I like his length. I like his speed, his football IQ. JT Clark has had a really great camp as well. His speed and ability to stretch the defense is something that we need on the perimeter, and he's done a great job. So I really like what we have. We're pretty deep. We got length. We got speed. We've added, more depth to the slot. I really like guys in there that can find space and get open and create yards after the catch with their speed. So I feel like we have that at that position, at our F position in the slot as well.
And tomorrow, Coach Traylor said you guys were scrimmaging. What are you hoping to see from your group in that scrimmage to kind of separate each other?
Yeah, I mean, number one, perfect effort. We want to see guys finish plays. I stress to my guys all the time, once I catch the ball, we got to have great runners with the ball. We got to create yards after the catch. And so I really want to see that. I want to see guys breaking tackles and using all the techniques and fundamentals that we've been coaching so far. And then we always talk about don't beat ourselves, DBOs, pre-snap movements. We got to make sure we're set. We got to see the signals. We got to get lined up quickly and then go execute the play call. So I'm just looking for a clean scrimmage and the guys that compete and display our perfect effort.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, Greg, you're up.
Coach, I'm curious, what goes into being a passing game coordinator exactly? How do you describe what that role is like?
Well, I'd say it all starts from the vision from our head football coach, Coach Traylor, and what he wants to see our offense look like. From then it goes to Coach Lunny and his expertise of our offense and what he wants the offense to look like. And then from my perspective, I need to be an expert on third down pass game. I need to be an expert for red zone pass game and give my wrinkles of how I can best see fit to get our best players the ball as many times as possible. And I got a motto in my room, it's feed the studs. Our goal as an offense is to create mismatches and get our best players the ball as many times as possible. So with Coach Lunny's direction and Coach Traylor's direction, I'm there as an assistance to them and figuring out our best plays, our best ways formationally, scheme-wise to get those players the ball and let them use their talents.
There's obviously a pretty significant quarterback competition going on right now. Do you have a say in that with your role, or how do you, evaluate that process?
Yeah, that all stems from Coach Traylor and Coach Lunny. They really spearhead that. But we talk as an offensive staff about all of our positions. It's a great room to be in terms of coaching. You got a room full of a lot of guys with a lot of experience. We have multiple quarterbacks in our room from me, from Coach Lunny, and also two of our off-field coaches. So there's a lot of eyes on that position, obviously. But ultimately, the ultimate say is from our head coach and Coach Lunny.
Well, what have you seen from that group just from your perspective then? Are there any standouts at quarterback so far?
Yeah, I think, like I said before, they all bring a little bit something to the table, which is nice. I think they can all throw the ball. You got guys that have running ability. And then the one thing that I like, and I've been in multiple competitions at the quarterback position myself, is that they're all in it together. That's great to see that there's no locker room lawyer going on or guys talking behind the play. Everybody's encouraging each other and being a great selfless teammate. So it is a healthy competition, but they are fierce, man. They're competing their tails off and giving our receivers a chance to make plays down the field.
Hey, Travis, you're up. JJ, you're on deck.
Will, I think Garrett Wilson has some free time on his hands this fall. If you guys can borrow him, I don't know if that could work out. Just kidding. But, what did you see with your time at Texas with Coach Traylor that made you want to take this opportunity and join him at UTSA?
Well, first, I mean, when he first arrived, we almost arrived on the same day. We arrived in March that year, I believe, maybe February. And he was just infectious. I mean, you wanted to gravitate towards him because of his, number one, love for his players. He's a guy that pours his heart out into his kids. And, you know, I've been around guys like that, but not to the extent of Coach Traylor. Such a big personality, such a warm-hearted person, love for football, love of the game. It just was immediate. I knew I wanted to work for this man. I knew I did from that get-go. And I was so fortunate to coach the receivers with him at the University of Texas. And then we always stayed in contact after he left. While he was at SMU, while he was at Arkansas, and I stayed at Texas. And then I went to Lake Travis, and he was able to recruit our school because his daughter went to Lake Travis. So he's been a mentor to me in this profession. His son is one of my best friends, Jordan, who works for the Saints. And his whole family treats me and my wife like we're family. And he's a special human being. He's unbelievable to work for. He has the heart of an assistant, meaning he lets us coach. He does not micromanage at all. He gives us a job description, and he lets us go execute it, just like we do for our players. We give them the job description, what they're supposed to do, and then let them go play. So he's honestly the perfect head coach to work for as an assistant. And then he's a fearless recruiter. He'll go up toe-to-toe versus anybody in the country. It doesn't matter if it's a Power 5 or a Group of 5 or FCS, whatever. He's relentless. And when your head coach loves to recruit just as much or more than your assistants, then it makes our jobs much easier as recruiters because you can get the head coach on the phone at any minute of the night, and he's hitting up our kids all the time. So he's just a great man, number one. He's a family man. He's a man of faith. And he gives us the opportunity to really coach and do our job.
Thanks, Will.
Yes, sir.
All right. JJ, you got the last question.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about the younger players in your wide receiver room. What have you seen out of some of those guys, and are you surprised about any of their contributions this fall camp so far?
No, you watched last year's film, and a lot of those guys played. You know, we're really deep at that sophomore class, redshirt freshman class, which is really good for the future. I love our length, number one. Big catch radiuses by all those guys, which is really nice. Speed on the outside has been very impressive. You know, we're hitting 20-plus miles per hour multiple times a day at practice, which is very fast. You know, we signed Isaiah Davis in that early signing period, and that was a great get out of El Paso. He's a 10'8", 100 kid and can really run, got great length, big hands. I'm really excited, you know, and I'm really pleased at their progress so far, learning a new system without spring football, mostly via Zoom, which, I mean, it'd be hard for me to learn a new offense totally on Zoom or without practicing it. So I've been really pleased with just their effort each day. They bring a strong mindset to meetings, taking great notes. And even guys like DeJuan Griffin, who only played 1 year of high school football. So if you look at last year, that was only his second year. Now he's really starting to progress, really understanding how to play the game of football. And I've been very pleased with my room. We're still nowhere near where we need to be, but I think each day we're getting better, and they're starting to master our system. We just got to keep improving techniques and fundamentals. And then when the lights come on, when the pads come on, I want to see dudes that have that feed the stud mentality, that want to be studs, want to be guys that we can count on Saturdays.